Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Look, let me start off by just simply thanking Dr. Lomax again for being in the city of Houston and for your comments and for your leadership of UNCF. Please give a Houston welcome to Dr. Lomax. Thank you so very much. Duana, where's Duana Collins? Well, thank you for your leadership in the Houston area. She's very committed, very dedicated, and I tell you, she doesn't leave you alone until you say yes. Give it up to Duana. Thank you so very much. I want to thank all of those here locally for assisting with UNCF. It's very, very important. The education is important. You know, you have me here, you have the comptroller here, Chris Brown. Chris, thank you for being here this morning. Appreciate that. Cambrell is just always on the calls. I mean, you know, he's just a good Kappa brother, you know, and that's coming from an Alpha. And look, and I'm going to be real nice to Cambrell. He's just a good Kappa brother. And hey, man, with an Alpha heart. So I appreciate all of that. Terry over there talking about don't forget these cues. But Terry, I'm gonna leave the cues alone today too, because I'm looking on the back of this and it says HEB is a sponsor. Cues are all right with me, you know. So appreciate that. This is my speech. I want you to know when I finish thanking people, I'm done. So thank you all. I do want to acknowledge specifically all of the sponsors for what you have done. Bowen, thank you. Alakid, thank you. Centerpoint, thank you. HEB on so many causes, so many, thank you. Marathon All, want to say thank you. Kroger, appreciate you. Shell steps up over and over and over again. I was just with them on Wednesday. Thank you. Wells Fargo, certainly want to say thank you. I need to see them later on. You see me next week. So I want to thank all of the sponsors. You can't do any of this by yourself. And when you're raising money, you need people to give. And all of these companies have given over and over again. Since Hurricane Harvey, on a local level, people have contributed about $114 million to the local relief fund. And much of that money came from these companies, businesses, as well as others. So over and over again, people don't have to give. They don't have to be excellent corporate partners. They have. And the least you can do is to say thank you, and we appreciate that. So thank you so very, very much. To all of you that are here, you know, you come every year, you make this a commitment. Last year, we didn't have it was a virtual walk, and so because of Harvey, the contributions were down. This year, I think one of them decided to do the Walk for Education, combining the walk on September the 8th, Tom Bass Park. Hope you will be there, along with the luncheon. The goal this year is $300,000. I don't know how close we are to that. A little bit over, a little short. But in Houston, well, I know we're going to get there. I don't have no doubt about that, because in this city, you go big or you go home. That's the mantra. So I'm hoping that you will give, make that goal a reality. And then the gala is coming up in November. When you add it on, look, education is just the key. I don't care who we are. Angelica, you're going to be hearing from in about a minute or two from now. And we're from the same neighborhood, you know. And then to graduate from Booker T. Washington, right down the street, and then to Spellman, and then to be one of the speakers. With your support of others, she's been able to navigate through the educational arena. So, you know, please give, please give, please give. But I just want to thank you. This is a great city. You know I've called on people over and over again. People have responded. In spite of everything that we've been through, we're still strong, we're still standing, we're still giving, and that's what makes us who we are. And so for all of that and more, from this mayor to all of you, let me thank you all for just being generous and investing in the lives of our students. Because the reality is they are all our kids. I don't care what they look like. I don't care where they come from. I don't care what language. I don't care what religion. They are all our students, all of our kids. We believe in them, and we wish them the very, very best. So thank you for being here and for your generosity.
Here in Houston, all the economic news is great. The Greater Houston Partnership predicts that that the future is so bright. I think this is the mayor says this, I have to wear shades. You say that, Mayor? And Houston's economy will nearly double in size over the next 20 years and will add more than 1.3 million new jobs. So Houston employers will need more diverse college-educated workers, because today almost every fast-growing job and career path requires a college degree, some post-secondary credential, and sometimes even more. And that gives our HBCUs in the state of Texas, including the 4 UNCF HBCUs, a competitive advantage, because HBCUs outperform other kinds of schools in graduating diverse students, especially diverse students from low-income families. So if you have a competitive advantage, you invest in the enterprise that has produced it. And that is exactly what UNCF, where a mind is a terrible thing to waste but a wonderful thing to invest in, that is exactly what UNCF is doing, investing in Texas students. So thanks to your support and the support of other like-minded corporations and philanthropies around the country, we could invest almost $10 million in 856 UNCF scholarships in Texas this academic year. And we could invest $3.5 million in scholarships and cash support to the 4 private historically black colleges that are member institutions of UNCF, which enroll nearly 4,000 students. And we haven't gotten the enrollment numbers, but something's happening, Mayor, on enrollment really across this country. And UNCF, I've talked to our presidents, they're looking for housing because there are more students who are getting the message that a college degree is absolutely essential. And all of that doesn't count the economic impact of the 9 Texas historically black colleges. $1.3 billion, Mayor, in total economic impact from all 9 of those institutions. 11,490 jobs on those college campuses, and $11.4 billion in total lifetime earnings. But much of this, as wonderful as that is, much of the state of education for low-income kids of color is not as bright as the story that we'll hear from Angelica. We are living through some unprecedented times. The fact is that education of students of color in America and in Texas continues to lag. Today, African Americans are not receiving the education in college and before college that 21st century economy and the 21st century job market demand, the education they need to be the full competitive participants in this dynamic Houston economy. Houston needs a college-educated workforce, not just to earn paychecks and pay taxes, but to rebuild a better society, to be a more just society, a society in which young men and women of color from low-income backgrounds are drastically less likely to become ensnared in the criminal justice system and more likely to become part of a robust and productive economy. UNCF awards thousands of scholarships each year. It also chooses HBCU students to participate in programs like the upcoming 5th annual HBCU Summit in Silicon Valley, where we're taking the best and the brightest young men and women studying engineering and designing apps and doing computer science, and we're taking them out to Silicon Valley, and we're letting all of those great companies see what extraordinary talent we're producing back here in Texas and in Alabama and in Mississippi, in schools that they don't know as much about. But lack of sufficient funding forces us to turn away 9 qualified applicants for every scholarship we award, and to limit the participation in the summit and other programs. We just announced a couple of weeks ago a new initiative that we're doing with Kevin Hart. You may have seen that announcement of a scholarship that Kevin asked us to develop, where we're giving 4-year, $10,000 a year scholarships to young men and women who attended KIPP charter schools around the country and are now attending UNCF member institutions. We're giving 18 of those scholarships this year. They were wonderfully surprised and excited young people, but I told them, you have a responsibility to succeed with that scholarship, because for every one of you, there were 9 highly qualified young people that we couldn't support this time. And I told Kevin Hart there were 180 young people who qualified for his scholarship. Hint, hint, Kevin, we need more money. So that cannot continue, and the time to change, the time to strengthen and kickstart our commitment to getting every Texas student, not some students, but all the students, into much higher gear is about to get an injection of high-octane fuel. Because next year, 2019, is UNCF's 75th anniversary, and we 75 years old. Now, some of you weren't around back in 1944 when we founded UNCF, but this beard tells you that some of us were, if not here, at least we were expected on the way. And we are going to celebrate, not by spending the year patting ourselves on the back, but by devoting the year and the 25 years that will be leading into our centennial to raising the resources we need to fulfill the mission around which Dr. Frederick Douglass Patterson and his fellow presidents founded UNCF almost 75 years ago, giving these HBCUs, these unique institutions, the support that they need and their students need to go to and through college. It has taken 75 years and raising almost $5 billion and helping almost 500,000 students earn a college degree to get us this far on the path. But we are not where we need to be, and so, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a lot of work to do. So that brings us here today. And we couldn't do this work without the support of the companies and the individuals who are here today, but we also just couldn't do this work if we didn't have champions, leaders of communities who understand that to whom much is given, from them much is expected. And this Houston community, if we never thought that this community that has been so blessed did not understand that from those blessings there were also responsibilities to help others. We saw that over the last year. Houstonians dug deep into their pockets to help one another. But they also continued to help to support those programs and initiatives that they knew over the long term were vital to the health and success of Houston, of Texas, and our nation.
Thank you for allowing me to be here today. It's truly an honor. Angelica, you are a blessing to me and a blessing to the world. Cheryl S. White, my mother. From birth, my mother embedded a deep sense of compassion within me. From an early age, she taught me the value of servicing others and the importance of being a positive change agent in my environment. Consequently, I knew as a child, and I know now, that it is my purpose to be a blessing to others by sacrificing my time and my resources for the advancement of humanity. When my mother taught me the importance of serving others, she was simultaneously molding me into a compassionate yet courageous leader. Now, I was raised as the only child, and I am the product of a single mother. She was a school clerk, and she made approximately $15,000 a year. No one in my immediate family graduated college. Needless to say, my quote-unquote at-risk socioeconomic status, along with a plethora of other barriers, could have prevented me from excelling academically and striving to attend a school as reputable and as expensive as Spellman College. There was no way my mom and I could afford Spellman. Spellman is approximately $160,000 a year, and that was more than what my mom made in 10 years combined. However, I chose to allow financial obstacles to motivate me even more to serve, to lead, and to reach my goals, one of which was to attend Spellman College. And I am proud and deeply grateful to say, despite it all, with your help, I made that dream a reality. During undergrad, I was selected to serve as a servant leader at Spellman, and by being submerged in service in the greater and inner Atlanta area, I was inspired and given vision and hope for my future, the future of my nonprofit Colors of Love, my community Acres Homes, and my beloved Houston. I continue to pursue a Master's of Education in Nonprofit Leadership at Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee. I recently completed my very last class. I am now working on my thesis, which is a charter school application, and I am applying for an EDD program. While studying education, I will continue serving as an education interventionist in HISD and the Metro Nashville Public School District. And I look forward to opening charter schools, secondary charter schools specializing in service leadership and service learning. My journey was made possible because of you and other generous hearts like yours. You all helped me dream big, but not only did you help me dream big, you helped me manifest dreams. Your contributions made it possible for me to continue to make it possible for so many other students to dream big. Your help allowed me to be inspired enough to even open my own school. You opened doors to so many schools. So on behalf of every student, boy and girl, who has and will receive scholarships from you all that will reach heights unknown, I say thank you. On behalf of the parents and the grandparents who sacrifice daily but just do not have the financial means to make dreams a reality for their students, I say thank you. On behalf of communities that are impacted from scholarship recipients, I say thank you. Your impact on Houston, on this nation, and globally is immeasurable. So I could never say thank you enough on behalf of us all. Have a great day.